The name that comes up, of course, in terms of so many environmental parks or game parks, there are United Nations agencies which speak for themselves, but there's also so-called environmental groups like the Worldwide Fund for Nature. What's your feeling about the way the environmental movement is being operated? The Worldwide Fund for Nature, of course, is headed by Prince Philip, of whom I would certainly not buy a used car or from him, and Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands, his friend, two of the bloodlines.
Since that fund was established, African animals are being exterminated at an even greater rate, believe me. In the Eastern Transvaal, some farmers have broken down fences between their farms and have made their private game parks into one huge thing. But when you go into these game parks and you get off the vehicle and you walk a short distance by foot, you notice a very disturbing thing. One, you see no recent animal tracks anywhere around you. Two, you cannot smell animals, and yet if a game park is filled with animals anywhere in Africa, you can actually smell the animals. You can smell the giraffe, the buffalo. You can smell the large antelopes. Each one has its particular smell. But if you go to those places in the Eastern Transvaal, you don't smell animals, let alone see them. There is shooting of wild game in those supposedly protected places like there is no tomorrow. And furthermore, in some of these private game reserves, you see something that fills you with disquiet. You see airstrips carrying not small aeroplanes as one would expect, not small one-engined aeroplanes, but I have seen game reserves where there is an airstrip and a hangar which carries a large aircraft, a Dakota of the 1950s. What is a gamekeeper doing with a heavy aircraft like that?
What do you think the agenda of the Worldwide Fund for Nature is?
I think, sir, it's an exercise in cynicism, an exercise in utter hypocrisy. And it doesn't surprise me that the leader of this fraud is a man whose eyes are like those of a reptile, a man whose lips look as if they were sculptured with a cutthroat razor.
What is the answer, Credo? What do people need to do to stop this agenda becoming reality and to turn it round and create the kind of world we want to live in?
Sir, I do not have any ready-made answers to your question, but I will tell you this. Our first duty is to make the whole world, the whole of humanity, aware of the threat facing it. Such is the blind spot in our brains that when people threaten us publicly that they are going to exterminate us and our entire nation, we don't take them seriously. For example, this threat to Africa is visible to everyone with a little thought, but it is so monstrous, so huge and so fearsome that our conditioned minds refuse to accept this. Now, in England, sir, there is a deadly-looking animal which I once saw. That animal is really a little wizard or a witch. It is a sleek animal whose body is very flexible. The English people call it a stoat.
stoat.
Yeah, a stoat. Now, when that animal chases a rabbit and corners it, the rabbit stops and freezes, and it looks at the stoat with totally hypnotized eyes. It is as if this animal is refusing to see the stoat, and the stoat catches it and eats it. We are reacting exactly like that. This is the way the Illuminati want us to react, to be hypnotized by their supposed power, to become blind to their existence, exactly as a cornered rabbit refuses to see a stoat. It doesn't want to see it because it cannot handle what is standing before it. We are like that. And we must stop this stoaty mentality. We must understand that there will come a time when the damage will have become so great, will have gone so far that we will not be able to reverse it. But I believe in this power set of the great African proverb that goes, Mudimu uphala baloi. God is greater than all the wizards and sorcerers on this earth. And I know that if as many people as possible are aware of what the Chitauli are doing, the Chitauli will be forced to retreat. Already, there are signs that they are getting desperate. Why? Because the human being is trying to bring out the God within itself. We are trying to become gods, and we are succeeding. It's only a few decades ago when there was no one on this earth who knew or cared anything about animal conservation, who knew or cared anything about the protection of the environment. But today, sir, there are thousands of such people worldwide. It is a hopeful sign, a sign that should be encouraged. Let the power of light shine in the dark corners of conspiracy, and as it shines, let humankind be saved.